He walked beside them before they even recognized him. He listened to their pain before revealing his glory. And in a quiet, ordinary moment on the road, everything they believed about death, hope, and God changed forever. In Mark 16, verse 12 to 13, we encounter one of the most mysterious and beautiful resurrection moments, Jesus appearing to two disciples as they walk in the countryside. The Gospel of Mark gives only a brief description, but this short scene holds layers of meaning, emotion, and revelation. Today we will explore this encounter from a different angle, not as a simple report, but as a journey of discouraged hearts meeting the risen Savior in a way they never expected. The story begins after the resurrection has taken place, but confusion still fills the air. Mary Magdalene has already seen Jesus alive and rushed to tell the disciples, but they did not believe her. Their minds were locked in grief. Their faith was buried under fear. Their hope had collapsed under the weight of the crucifixion. It is into this atmosphere of uncertainty that Jesus appears again. This time, not in the upper room, not at the tomb, not in a dramatic miracle, but on a simple road in the countryside. Two disciples are walking, talking, trying to process everything they have witnessed over the last few days. Their world has been shaken. Their expectations shattered. Their Messiah crucified. They are not running. They are not preaching. They are not expecting a miracle. They are simply walking, carrying the heaviness of disappointment in their steps. And Jesus comes to them. Mark says Jesus appeared in a different form. This detail is fascinating. The risen Jesus is recognizable, yet not always immediately recognized. The resurrection body is real, physical, but glorious. Sometimes he appears through locked doors. Sometimes he walks beside travelers unnoticed. Sometimes he is mistaken for a gardener. Resurrection life is familiar yet transformed. The two disciples do not know it is him. They simply see another traveler, a stranger sharing their path. And the resurrected Son of God chooses to draw near quietly, gently, without forcing recognition. He listens. He walks with them. He lets them express their confusion, their sorrow, their disappointment. The one who conquered death chooses to accompany them in their grief. This reveals something profound about the heart of Jesus. He does not wait for us to have perfect faith before he comes near. He does not require us to fully understand before he walks with us. He meets us on the road of disappointment, the road of confusion, the road of ordinary life. The two disciples speak of the crucifixion, of how their hopes were broken, of how they thought Jesus would redeem Israel. They share their confusion about the empty tomb. They wrestle with what they've heard but cannot believe. Their hearts are a mixture of longing and disbelief, and Jesus listens with compassion. Even though Mark gives only a short version, we know from the parallel account that Jesus explains the scriptures to them, showing how the Messiah must suffer and then enter his glory. But Mark's brevity serves a purpose. He wants us to feel the simplicity of the encounter. It was not a sermon. It was a walk, a conversation, a moment of grace hidden in the normal rhythm of life. And then something happens, something quite life-changing. The disciples suddenly recognize him. Whether through his words, his tone, his presence, or a revelation from God, the truth becomes clear. The one walking beside them is Jesus, alive, risen, victorious. But the moment they recognize him, he disappears from their sight. At first, this may seem strange. Why reveal himself only to vanish? Why not stay longer? Why not prove his resurrection with dramatic power? Because this moment is not about length, it is about revelation. Jesus is showing them something greater. He is with them even when they don't see him. He accompanies them even when they don't recognize him. His presence is not limited to physical visibility. Resurrection means Jesus can be with his people anywhere, at any time, in every situation. Their reaction is immediate and passionate. They turn to each other and say, "Did not our hearts burn within us while he talked with us on the road?" The burning heart, that unmistakable stirring of the soul when Jesus draws near, when truth breaks through confusion, when hope begins to glow again. This is the internal witness of the resurrection. Jesus brings the heart back to life before the eyes fully recognize him. The two disciples rush back to Jerusalem. They don't wait. They don't rest. They run. The same road that held their disappointment now carries their joy. The same steps that dragged with grief now leap with urgency. They must tell the others. They must share what they have seen. And yet, when they arrive and tell the disciples, their testimony is rejected. But they did not believe them either. Mark writes, even after Mary Magdalene's report, even after the tomb was found empty, even after hearing that Jesus appeared on the road. This detail reveals something unavoidable. Resurrection faith does not come easily. Even the first disciples struggled. Even first-hand witnesses were doubted. Even truth spoken with passion was dismissed. But this does not diminish the beauty of the encounter. It makes it more relatable. The disciples were not superhuman. They were not spiritual giants. They were ordinary people wrestling with extraordinary truth. From this changed perspective, the story of Jesus appearing to the two disciples on the road becomes a powerful message for our lives today. First, Jesus meets us in our confusion. He doesn't wait for perfect faith. He steps into our questions, our doubts, our uncertainties. He walks beside us long before we realize he is near. Second, Jesus listens to our disappointment. These disciples felt let down by God, by their expectations, by their own misunderstanding. Jesus did not rebuke them immediately. He let them express their pain. Third, Jesus reveals himself gradually. He does not overwhelm us with glory. He opens our hearts step by step, his presence warming us before our eyes fully recognize him. Fourth, Jesus transforms ordinary moments into holy ones. This encounter didn't happen in a temple, or on a mountain, or in a miracle-filled crowd. It happened on a road between two travelers. This shows us that resurrection life saturates everyday life. Fifth, Jesus uses burning hearts to ignite mission. Once the disciples recognize him, they cannot keep the news to themselves. Revelation produces movement, encounter produces mission, love produces urgency. Sixth, Jesus is present even when unseen. He disappears the moment they recognize him, not to leave them, but to teach them that he is always with them, even when not physically visible. Resurrection changes not just what Jesus does, but how he is present. Seventh, faith is often born in community. The two disciples run back to share the news. Even though they are not believed at first, their testimony becomes part of the growing chorus that will prepare the disciples for the Great Commission. This passage invites us to see Jesus differently, not only as the triumphant risen Lord, but as the patient companion who walks with us on the hardest roads. It teaches us that resurrection is not just an event, it is a presence, a daily nearness, a quiet companionship, a Savior who meets us where we are, not where we think we should be. Maybe you've been on a road like theirs, a road of confusion, disappointment, or doubt. Maybe you've wondered where God is. Maybe you've walked with questions heavy on your heart. This story whispers truth into those moments. He is closer than you think. He is walking with you. He is speaking even when your eyes cannot see him. Your heart may be burning without you realizing why. And when the moment of recognition comes, when clarity breaks through, when faith awakens, when hope rises again, you will discover that the one who walked with them is the one who walks with you. The journey of these two disciples is not a side story. It is a mirror for our spiritual journeys. We meet Jesus not only in worship, but in walking. Not only in miracles, but in ordinary conversations. Not only in certainty, but in searching. Every road becomes sacred when Jesus walks on it. Thank you for watching this message. If this teaching encouraged your heart, please like this video, follow the Holy Path Insights channel, share it with someone who needs hope today, and continue watching our full series as we explore the powerful truth of the Gospel of Mark together.